Day 1457, living with incurable cancer, and this is my journal entry from last night. 4 years ago today, I felt my body dying. I was alone, scared, miles from my family. A repost helps sum up this day. 4 years ago, on this day, I was being transported from my local hospital to a hospital in Moncton, New Brunswick for a biopsy of one of the nodules on my liver. Because of COVID, I had to travel alone with 2 paramedics. I kissed my Hatton boy goodbye, and I gave my husband Ty the longest hug. I looked him in the eyes and I said, "I'll see you soon." Little did I know the next time he'd see me, I'd be laying in an ICU bed with internal bleeding throughout my abdomen. When the paramedics dropped me off at the hospital, I was only to be there for the procedure and will be returning back to my hospital room, my home away from home. The biopsy, a thin needle that went in between my ribs to reach my liver, was painful, especially because I refused the pain medication as it interfered with my breastfeeding. The pain wasn't anything I could handle, but it was later, when I was in the recovery room. I knew the pain was far too much. I explained to the nurse my level of discomfort and she reassured it was normal. After approximately 5 minutes, I was sweating, barely speaking through the pain, and was adamant something was very wrong. I looked at her and said, "We don't know each other very well, but I think I handle pain quite well, but there's something very, very wrong." Within seconds of getting out those words, the pain completely took over my body, and the next thing I knew, I was lying inside of a CT machine. I felt my IV blowing as they tried to push through the contrast. I saw everyone rushing around me, the radiologist yelling, "I got it, I found it, get her out of there." If I close my eyes, I can actually remember the hospital overhead lights flashing by me as they rushed me to the ICU. I yelled out, "Call my husband, call my husband." After all, they were a 2-hour drive away in a completely different province, and he thought I was en route back to PEI. The nurse rubbed my head throughout the hospital halls, apologizing for not believing me. A few hours later, my family was by my side as I laid in the surgical ICU. I needed my baby. I begged every nurse to ensure that whatever medication they gave to me, I would still allow me to breastfeed. After all, I was exactly 1 month postpartum from an emergency C-section and trying to breastfeed a preemie around the clock.